Hello?
Hey Arctic, how's it going?
It's going good.
Woohoo, looks like we got two viewers, so let's see what we can do. So what do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I want to talk about Minecraft.
You want to talk about Minecraft, okay. I play some
Yep, yep.
Minecraft, so I know a little bit about it, but I'm not an
Wait,
expert.
no way. Austin,
So,
hello?
Yo, what's up?
Dude. Are you ready for a tournament?
Oh, sure.
Okay, guys, this is my duo for debate.
oh, right on. Okay. So you
Yeah.
guys are
I didn't know
on
he
you
was
guys are on
here.
a team?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on. That's perfect.
Hold
I am
on. We'll be back in
excited
a
now.
minute. Hold on. We'll be back in 1 second. I gotta talk to him about our thing real quick. Our constructive. The
Okay,
debates in 2
okay.
days. Okay, we'll be right back. I have to discuss it and then we'll debate. Okay?
Right on. Yeah.
Alright. You're back. Um
I'm really excited for this now, you guys. This is going to be good. These guys seem like they are really good at debate, and I'm excited because I think it's going to be a great show. It's going to be a great illustration of what debate is like. So, I don't know what the topic's going to be, but I'm excited to see what they bring to the table. I just hope that it doesn't take too long. They're probably going to be way more prepared than I am, but that's okay because I'm going to try my best. I'm going to see what I can do, and if I lose, so be it. I'm still going to learn a lot about the topic. So that's one thing that I really like about debate is that win or lose, you still win because you learn, right? That's why just the practice of doing it. You guys are back.
hello.
Yeah, hello,
Right
we're
on.
back.
That's it.
You guys
We
ready
hit
to
a few
rock?
misspellings. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, so what are we debating?
I don't
Which
know. You
debate?
tell me.
I'm up for anything. I'm up for anything.
So what I do what I've done in the past is
Oh,
that I have the other person pick the topic in the side, and I have to debate the opposite, no matter what.
okay. So Austin, it's your first year. If you want to pick the topic and decide,
Okay, I got you, I got you.
okay, just say yeah. Whenever you're ready, just find one.
Okay, my topic is why whatever is a bad word. Like, that's the thing to debate. Whatever
Okay,
is a bad word.
which?
Right, and
okay.
I'm taking the side of it being bad.
What?
Okay. Do you want to be more specific about what you mean by being bad, or do you want to discuss that in the debate?
That'll be in the debate.
Okay. Okay.
And then Austin, do you want to go 1-on-1 or?
Sure.
Okay. All right. You and debate guy, will run it up.
Okay, right, so I'll start it off. Whatever is a bad word because it sucks.
Uh.
Okay.
So what's your reasoning?
My reasoning is you're a little weird if you use it, right? And it's in specific, you know what I'm saying?
In
If you say
specific.
whatever, it's like you're probably like complaining about something, but not actually
So,
saying
so
anything.
why is it bad? Like, why is it compared to like? Where does it fall on the bad word list? Like,
It's like a
severity.
10.
10?
Yeah,
So it's just like slurs.
yeah, basically.
Oh, okay. What's your reasoning for that?
Like, I mean, when has whatever like this is just gonna be a question. When has whatever added on to something when you say it? I don't feel like it adds on, right? It doesn't add any depth to what you're
Well,
actually
it
saying.
depends on the situation.
Like,
If you're
if
like
somebody's saying something, like making a claim, and you say whatever, that doesn't get you anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically a slur in my book.
on the contrary, though, if you're talking to someone about a plan, you can say like, "I'm up for this," and be like, or whatever works with you. That's not a bad word then.
I mean,
There.
well, that's a different usage on what I was saying, but I guess, yeah, that would go against what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm more saying whatever, just like whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Debate guy. Let's hear you. Let's hear your side.
Well, so are you guys both? It sounds like you guys are not on the same team on this debate topic. So
Oh,
do you want this to be like a team debate, like PF, or
I think you wanted to go 1-on-1, so I think it's you against. I was just questioning because you weren't questioning. Oh,
okay? No,
okay.
we can do that. Okay, so I'm going to argue that when the term whatever, as you used in the description of the debate, is actually a good word. Okay. And I'm going to debate it on the argument of utility, okay? It displays apathy in a way that doesn't require a summary of the topic. So it's very efficient in that sense. You know what I mean? So, in that sense, if I say, well, I have to do all this homework and it requires me to do this, that, and the other, and whatever, right? It displays that apathy and communicates it clearly to the other person, saying, hey, look, I have communicated my thoughts, feelings, and emotions on this topic adequately with the other party that I'm discussing with, right? And it only took technically one word in order to communicate that. As opposed to saying, well, you see, my feelings on that is that I am irritated by the repetitive nature of this task, and it drags my energy out in a way that I do not find fulfilling or rewarding. What's the cricket supposed to mean, man? Come on.
No, I was joking. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. So those are my arguments. And what are your counter arguments?
My counter argument would be that I agree with how it communicates in that sort of way, but I feel like it's like a upside and a downside, right? Because it is really basic and it doesn't take much to communicate it, but I think that's also an issue sometimes because it doesn't have much depth, right? And I feel like it's kind of filler, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. So what I would argue to contend with that is that in the literal interpretation of the term, which we haven't defined yet, it's actually quite useful. And it does have a lot of depth. So, for example, if my wife comes to me and says, what do you want for dinner? And I say, whatever. Well, there's a lot of options communicated in that response, right? It could be pizza, it could be tacos, it could be whatever you want. And so, in that sense, it communicates a tremendous amount of options to my wife in that specific example for what I would find acceptable for dinner. Is that it? Is that the end of the debate?
Hello?
Hello?
Sorry, wait, I drew a blank.
That's okay.
Yeah, sorry, there's not much going up in my head sometimes.
You can't see this is his first turn, man.
Well, you could say, well, what's going up in my head is whatever, right?
Yeah, I feel a little defeated, to be honest.
Okay.
I
Well,
don't know how else to argue my point. You kind of convinced me.
Okay,
so are you forfeiting the debate or?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Do you want to move on to another topic?
Yeah, 1 second. I have to eat dinner real quick though. I'm back in like 10 minutes. So Austin, if you want to debate him again.
Quick dinner.
Since my homework ate my dog, right? Even though I'm a little bit sad, might as well just I want to argue that dogs are better than cats.
Okay.
And sorry, let me elaborate that on not like saying that objectively, kind of more just saying like I strongly think that way.
Well, then what's the debate? Whether or not you think that way?
Yeah, I strongly think that way, but I like because going into it, like I don't hate cats, right? But I do strongly think like dogs more, and I want to debate kind of why they're better and why I think of that kind of.
Okay, so you're asserting a position.
Mhm.
Okay, nice. Then I will argue that cats are better than dogs.
Okay.
Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
I can start it out. I can start it out. Um, I want to start it off with talking about loyalty because I think that it's like a guarantee, like 100% dogs are way more loyal than cats are, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know if you've heard, right? I've heard about the thing. If you die, cats will just eat you, right? Like cats don't give it like a dang. They just want to be fed,
Mm-hmm.
right? So cats are kind of like ops. They're backstabbers, a little bit of traitors. So I mean that's one of my main reasons for dogs because a dog will just love you even if they're like dumb as rocks.
Mm. Then I would assert that it's possible that the reason why the dog will love you unconditionally and not eat your face when you die is because dogs are dumb. And that does not necessarily make them better. The cat has a solid notion of mortality. The cat knows that you're not coming back, and so the cat uses you for what it can because it knows that more often than not, no one else is going to be coming in to feed him. A dog, for example, is the opposite. The dog is so dumb that it is incapable of deciphering life from death. And so it will go about treating your body as if it were still alive, licking it and hoping that it will play with it. But it never will. And that kind of hopelessness, I think, is what we really find endearing about dogs, is that they're so dumb that they've lost touch with reality. But cats are utilitarian. They know how to take care of themselves to a degree that dogs don't. That's what makes them so low maintenance. They don't require other humans to come and stimulate them before they go nuts. Cats are just as happy with or without humans. But at the same time, if you sit on the couch, a good cat will come and lay on you and have you pet it. Um, and you can forge that connection with it. And that, I think, is the real utility of pet. Not necessarily the personal, the lack of understanding that a dog can give you, but rather the utility of having a pet in your life. What the pet does for you rather than you just feeding it. I think that's what you get out of a cat that a dog less efficiently can provide if given the right circumstances. Your response, sir.
Yes. Well, I'd like to say, I mean, you're trying to argue why I believe, from what I've heard, that despite cats being like fake friends or whatever, basically, why they're still like, good pets, like on par with dogs, right? I'd personally say that companions should be completely loyal, right? Like a companion should be a companion, like that's your ride or die, right? So then
Mm.
cats do not have that level of loyalty. You know what I'm saying? Like you're saying you can forge a connection, which yeah, you can forge a good connection, but they'll never be that loyal. That
Mm.
level of just like, beyond death, just still being loyal.
So is the value criterion of a pet necessarily loyalty? Because that wouldn't explain the vast number of pets out there.
People own pets for different reasons.
Mm.
And
So
I'm saying
depending
I
on the
believe that a
job,
dog is more loyalty, right?
a dog has more loyalty, but that may or may not necessarily make it the best pet for you. So if we expand it out to what is better and what is worse, my argument is that cats are more universal in that sense in fulfilling what the human desires. And a dog dog can fulfill some of the desires of people, right? But they have to be the right kind of desires. They have to be a desire for taking care of something, for constantly giving it stimulus, for taking it on walks. A dog is great for getting you out of the house, but if you don't want to leave the house, it's not that great, is it? So that's why I think that cats are better, is because they're more universal in addressing the needs that humans have. Because while a cat can facilitate or fulfill most desires of various different kinds of humans, a dog is less universal, where it has a specific niche where it can fulfill all of those needs. Does that make sense?
I do see where you're coming from in that.
Hello?
Right.
What's the debate?
Cats versus dogs.
Oh, which side are you?
I'm dogs.
Oh, big dogs. Okay.
But yeah, I agree, right? The cats can, or they'll fulfill most of the desires of most people, right? Even though the dogs are very high maintenance, like another human, right? Like little Gizmo, right? Like he's like another person.
Hmm.
Okay.
You've done a great job of summarizing my points.
I'm down to take any debate as well. I'm down. We don't have to just do that one. You can switch it up.
Right on. What are you
But
feeling?
yeah, I'm ready to take over. Here, Austin,
Yeah.
give us a topic. I'll pick a side since.
Okay. Sorry, I wasn't thinking I was gonna have to think of another one. I'm gonna have to think for a
You're
second.
fine. Take your time. No worries. Gotta get ready for the tournament.
You guys have a set of PF topics, don't you?
We're not doing PF. We're doing DQ.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No. I thought you. No, you're fine. We can do. No, we can't do Congress bill.
Okay.
Okay.
Like, how about basketball versus football?
Basketball versus football. So for this, would we just argue which side's better?
Yeah. Why which sport would be better?
Basketball versus football. Cool. That's actually a good one. Fuck. I think for this one, I'm gonna have to take football. Well, I'm gonna take football for this. Okay.
All right.
So who goes first?
You can start.
Either you can go first.
Okay. So I would like to start off by stating that football is preferred by the majority, and according to statistichub.com, it generates almost 2 times as much money as basketball. Football also has multiple leagues, even for people who don't play. Things like fantasy football exist, so they can still have the fun of making these teams and coaching these teams. Basketball is also basketball has less selection when it comes to players, because there's not as many players in basketball as there is football. I guess that's where I'll stop for now.
All
if
right.
you would like to start.
So my first contention is regarding the points that were made about the benefits of basketball or football. Sorry, and I would argue that basketball achieves the same goals, but does it much more efficiently. And I'll tell you about how that fudges the numbers. So, for example, basketball requires much less land in order to facilitate that sport than football does. Much smaller area that lives in. It also has much less requirement for space in general. There's only so high that the basketball is ever really going to go, as opposed to, say, a field goal. And the other thing is that because of how compact the game typically is, it's much better at maintaining the viewer experience. Because all of even the nickel seats in a basketball game is closer to the action than some of the most expensive, right on the ground floor seats of football, right? So, for example, many people would argue that watching football on TV is so much better than watching it live because you get to see the action so much better. The same argument cannot be made for basketball because you're already close enough to where the watching it on TV really wouldn't make that big of a difference, even from the nickel seats.
And those are your points.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's my turn. So. Okay, so I'd like to start by addressing how my opponent talked about how basketball takes less time than football. And I'd like to state that the teams for football are much larger, the player count is much larger, and they have a lot of backups because of those reasons. And on the worst thing they need land is because they switch sides and have certain points. So they start at the very left or the very right, while in basketball they always start in the middle. My opponent stated that more people like to watch basketball in person, and at football, people like to watch it on TV instead because they get to see the action more. However, I just think that supports my side because more people have access to those televisions and being able to go in person because there's only so many limited in-person seats. Shit, that's all I wrote down. Okay. I'd like to state that my opponent did not attack two of my contentions, so both of those still stand. Thank you. Oh, I didn't touch that. Okay, I ended though. It's your turn.
Right on. So some of the contentions that my opponent has brought up have a lot to do with what has or has not been addressed, and I'd like to state for the record that I do think that those have all been addressed because they've all followed the basic theme of achieving one end at the cost of another. So there's an opportunity cost there. You spend a lot of money on building the stadium in order to facilitate the game. You get economic growth from that. And my contentions were all focused on achieving the same goal, both physically and metaphysically, with a much lower opportunity cost. So, for example, one of the many factors that go into whether or not one sport is profitable or not is can you get, for how much it costs to facilitate the sport, what is your return? So, for example, if basketball is much more efficient at generating the same return, because it has less upfront cost, then that covers all of the contentions that my opponent brought up to begin with. And so, while there's always going to be television to watch sports on, the difference is how much demand there is to see that sport in person, regardless of whether you have a television or not.
Okay. Is that all?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. I'd like to start by stating. One second. My dogs are fighting. Okay. My bad. I'm a professional. I'd like to start by stating that my point about fantasy football and the players on football side having more connection to the players still stands. Football football, I guess, embraces more people and brings in more, I guess, more leagues, more divisions. There's multiple divisions for each league, so people don't have to go against just size, height, age. There's different divisions for everything, so it's fair for every single person. While basketball, primarily focuses on team v team and doesn't have these other options compared to football. Okay, my bad. I took the bad notes. I guess that's where I'm gonna stop.
All right.
Yeah.
So my opponent is argued on the basis of equality, that because football has more options, then more people can participate in it. However, I would argue that that's not the case. I think there's more diversity in the heights and physicality, bodily makeup in basketball than there is in football. The only difference is what goals you're selecting for. So, for example, the linebacker, there's a specific shape that a linebacker's got to be, right? But in basketball, you can either have a Shaquille O'Neal or you can have Russell Westbrook. Both of them have very different physical attributes. But if you look at the roles that each player has in a football game, okay, there's a very specific shape that they're forced to do. And I would argue that diversity is not by selecting for specific attributes and then shuttling them for a specific role. I would argue that that's the opposite of the goal that's the opposite of the goal of equality, is not to put people into lanes and then through a series of carrots and sticks enforce those roles regardless of will. I think that basketball gives much more leeway for that, and I think that's reflected in the varying heights and sizes that exist in basketball.
All right. Is that all?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I would like to start by saying basketball, or football. Wait, hold on. Sorry. There's not more diversity in basketball, and I'm gonna prove this in multiple ways. My opponent was stating how in football, these certain body types, these certain physical physiques need to be upheld, and these players are sought out. However, in basketball, they don't. He's correct that they don't have these exact physiques, these exact types. However, they all look for one thing, and that is height. According to the official NBA league, only 25 people that have played have been 5 foot and 9 below, which meaning the majority of the players are above 6 foot, above 5'10". So they are looking for a certain body type. While over in football, they look for a different body type, but all heights are accepted. Physiques can be built, but height cannot be changed. So that was my opponent's main contention when they talked about in their rebuttal. So I have disproved that. I'd like my opponent to go to speak again, or I guess pass it over.
Yeah, my opponent has brought up an interesting statistic about basketball, but I'd love to hear how it compares to the statistics of football. The same, I assume, is true for football. If those specific variants, now, I don't want to get into the weeds of an argument about the size of a standard deviation of a statistic, but I'd also like to point out that it's been a very, very long time since I've not also seen a football player who's under 6 feet as well. And that's why I would argue that there really is not that big of a difference. And it seems to me, despite my lack of factual data on that argument, that the standard deviation is actually higher in basketball than it is in football, if you control for the different positions and roles that are played by the different players.
Okay. I would like to start my point by saying the majority of wide receivers are on the shorter ends, being around 5'4" to 5'8". Now, this doesn't entirely prove my opponent's contention, so I'll keep going further. My opponent has a lack of proof for these statements, and when I went to the NFL website, they stated themselves that majority of coaches don't prefer height, but instead prefer physique, like my opponent was stating, which can be obtained by hard work. Like I was saying, my opponent has a lack of evidence, therefore the points do not stand, while I had evidence for both my side and my opponent's side. I would also like to state. I also like to state, as I was saying, there's different leagues in football that cater towards these different needs of height and size and age. These different leagues are made so those things don't happen. However, in basketball, they don't have leagues like that, so it's a lot less diversity. All in there.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
All in there. That's you.
Oh,
Or do you want me to
okay.
repeat everything? Or? Okay.
No. I just didn't know you were done. Okay. So we talked about, even before, in the first half of this debate, we talked about the issue of diversity and the role that diversity plays. And I think that, for the most part, has been very similar to the arguments that we've made about efficiency, where the difference of opinion, it seems, between me and my opponent is not based on a factual analysis, but rather on a philosophical one, right? The value of equality is a philosophical value in itself. And I argue throughout the debate that the benefits of efficiency, or the benefits of diversity, outweigh the arguments that have been made by my opponent. And it's because of those things that I think that I've proven my case that not only is basketball more efficient, but also applies more diversity and rewards hard work and physicality rather than genetic talent.
And is this our last speech?
Sure, if you want.
Okay, I was just curious because you're putting on more of an ending. Okay. So I would like to start by stating that football does have more financial opportunity compared to basketball, and there's a lot to prove that. For example, Serbia has been is now dumping billions of dollars into sports compared to oil, and the majority of the money is going towards football because, in their words, it generates more money compared to other sports. So compared to other sports, it means things like soccer and basketball, which they have dumped money into, but not nearly as much as they have football because they know the financial opportunities of this sport. I'd like to restate that, as I was saying, there's also more economic possibilities in football because of many leagues like the USFL, the NFL, the EFL, La Liga, Legacy, Fantasy. It doesn't matter your physical body type. It doesn't matter those things. Everyone can play. Even if you have conditions that let you not be able to play, there is ways for you to play, such as fantasy football, where you're not actually playing, but you're still able to participate with everyone who does play. Therefore, football encompasses more people, has more economic opportunities, and is therefore better than basketball. Thank you. That's pretty good. That was a pretty good debate by both of us.
Yeah, it's fun. I had a good time. I was not aware that Serbia had a football program.
They didn't until very recently. They started dumping like billions of dollars because most of their economics are in oil, and they don't think that's going to last more than 50 years. So they're dumping all their money to sports now, and a lot of that money is going towards football compared to basketball and soccer.
I did not know.
Oh, interesting.
Are you sure it's American football and not what they call football?
Yeah, they called it soccer in their stuff. I don't know. I feel like it should have been more. I think it's Serbia.
That's so
I think
weird.
so. Or
it's a southeastern European country. I would imagine they would call it football.
Well, it's not just them either. It's also like, I know Iraq is calling it football, like American football. I think it's I think it might be to relate more to the people, because the majority of people who watch sports or things like American football are all in America. So I think they're trying to cater more towards that. I don't know though. Because I know Iraq is also calling it football, and they're dumping a lot of money towards it too. Yeah, like on their like page, on like the sports page for Iraq, it's just called soccer.
Hmm.
I don't know why. You don't know. I don't. It's actually weird. I gotta think about that.
And the government of Iraq is putting stimulus money into a American football team.
Yeah, because they don't. They want to make a more, I guess, efficient or a more sturdy way to make money or to keep money, because they think oil's gonna run out in 50 years. They're not gonna keep economics. So they're dumping money now towards sports because of the economics from it. Oh, pretty interesting. I'm just looking at the source right now. I'm reading it.
Yeah, I would have thought that soccer would be way more popular in the Middle East than American football.
That's what I'm thinking. Although I think it could also be because they have dumped money into those teams already. Like I know they all have a soccer team. It's pretty sturdy.
Mm-hmm.
So and I don't think they have a football team, right? I don't think they have a football team. So that could be a factor why they're putting so much money into it, but.
Well, it would be interesting if we can ever get an Iraqi team in the NFL.
Wait, is Persia doing it too?
Well, Persia wouldn't.
Wait,
be
now
a
looking into
country.
this, is this? Well, no, but they're having their own team.
Like a football team for the Persian region, or like a Persian league.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading. Also, I'm reading it now. Hold on. No, like it's a team for the region. That doesn't make sense though. Wait. Or okay, no, I guess it's Iran's team, and they're calling it the Persian team.
Of American football.
You know, like hundreds of.
For a
There's
country
gonna be
that hates the
hundreds of billions
U.S.
of
so
dollars
much.
between those.
For a country that hates
I
the
think
U.S.
it's
so
'cause-
much, why pump money
Well,
into
because they're
that
putting money
sport
towards.
instead of soccer?
It's because they're dumping money into every single sport to get the best teams possible.
Huh.
Like, yeah, I was talking about Iraq a minute ago, but Iran is doing it like for every single sport. Because Iraq dumped money towards soccer and basketball as well, and same things as I was saying about the other country. But Iran is putting way more than both of those countries.
That's really weird.
Like they're gonna have their teams made by 2027. They're gonna have like full blown teams for every single sport.
I don't understand the reasoning behind that. For such a cash-strapped country, why are they pouring money into something that wouldn't do them any good if they're so politically isolated anyway?
I think it's because of the oil. I think that's why. Yeah, because they're saying it's going to be a less oil-based economy for like the entire world.
I can understand that, but of all the things, that's what they want to pour the money into?
I don't know why that is either. I don't know.
Like,
They'd be making their own league over there.
Saudi Arabia is trying to do the
sense
same thing, where they're trying to wean their economy off of oil, right? But they're doing things like investing in the tech industry and foreign realty investments abroad and, stuff like that that make a lot more straightforward sense than we're going to make an American football team.
Well, yeah, it wasn't just American football, but I was like, what did they love their money into? They could be trying to make their own league over there, which actually would generate a lot of money, to be fair.
Maybe, but like I said, why don't they do the same thing, but just double down on soccer? Then they can build stadiums that can actually facilitate the population. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because I think
Well,
even
not many
Kuwait
countries,
had the
not
same
any
issue.
There's also not really a huge market, I guess, for football. So they'd be able to. Hmm. Well, see, 'cause, yeah, there's so many people. There's many like it's all America that's in football. There's not really any of the teams, so they could be trying to get in early compared to these like soccer, which already has teams around the world, I think because of the World Cup and stuff, but that already are so well like managed, maintained. They have the same players every single year, not the exact same players, but like the main star players. It'd be a lot more expensive, I think, to buy the star players compared to starting a new. Starting a new, I can't think of the word. Starting a new. I can't think of the word. You know what I'm saying.
A new program.
It's cheaper to do that, I think. Yeah, it's cheaper to, I guess, invest into American football because no one else has done it yet. Instead of investing money into soccer, which would be a lot more money, which I think could make back in economics later than if you dumped less into football now. Especially if they make their own league, then that means other countries around them will join in too, which means if they buy star players over there now, they'll generate even more money if other teams try to buy them off of them. Oh, it's an interesting concept, though.
They would really have to create a fan base from the ground up, as opposed to like cricket or something else, where you have people that play cricket today, as opposed to like I don't know how many American football teams are kicking around in Baghdad, but there's probably not that many.
I mean, I guess we'll see in the next like 2 or 3 years how that's gonna work, because it says there are teams to be made in like just a year or two, so we'll actually see that, and it'd be crazy to see like an actual like a World Cup for football.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, I'll be right back.